Something shattered long before the glass ever did. A quiet life split open, exposing secrets nobody was prepared to face. And the moment it happened, nothing felt safe. What happens when the quiet one becomes the threat? When the family's hidden truth erupts at the worst possible moment? And when loyalty turns into betrayal right at the table? I'm Ava Callahan, and until that night, my family barely noticed the space I took in a room. I was the background presence, the quiet one, the daughter who listened more than she spoke, the one everyone assumed would stay small forever. But the truth I'd kept buried for years was about to split my world open in a way none of them could control. Thanksgiving dinner had always been predictable. My brother Ben soaking up every spotlight, my mom feeding his ego like it was a sacred ritual, and my dad watching quietly, measuring the temperature of the room the way he always did. I sat at the far end of the table, close enough to hear everything, distant enough to be forgotten. But that night, silence didn't feel like safety. It felt like a fuse burning straight toward me. Ben bragged about another business idea, something half-built, half-planned, and already sinking. Mom applauded every word like he was presenting a life-changing discovery. I kept my eyes on my plate, counting breaths, waiting for the storm I didn't know was coming. Then his wife slipped. One careless sentence. One tiny truth she never meant to reveal. "She probably doesn't care," she said lightly. "She has millions now." The room froze. Forks stopped. Breath stalled. Ben's head snapped toward me. Mom's eyes widened. Dad exhaled like he'd been holding a secret for years. And that was the moment everything detonated. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was loaded, thick, electric, like the house itself was bracing for impact. Ben leaned forward slowly, elbows on the table, studying me the way a detective studies a suspect. His voice dropped into a tone I'd never heard from him before. "Millions," he said quietly. "You have millions?" His wife's face drained of color. Dad shut his eyes. Mom looked at me like I'd betrayed her personally. I didn't move, didn't blink, didn't rush to fill the silence or ease their shock. "Yes," I said simply. Ben pushed his chair back. The legs screeched across the floor, slicing through my ears like metal dragging on concrete. He stood there trembling with a mix of humiliation and disbelief, staring at me as if he were seeing a stranger. "How long?" he demanded. His voice cracked. "When did this even happen?" 12 years of work, I replied. "And a sale finalized recently." Mom gasped sharply, as if my success had injured her. 12 years, she repeated. "You hid something this big? From your own family?" I didn't look away. "You never asked." Her lips twitched in offense. "Don't turn this on us, Ava. Families share things. Families talk. Families also listen," I said. Ben slammed his hand on the table. The plates rattled. Emery flinched in her chair. "You think you're better than me?" he shouted. "Is that it? You think money makes you superior?" I stood slowly, the tension in my knees steady but burning. "No," I said. "It just makes me free." His jaw tightened like he wanted to break something. Anything, to pull back control. But the room wasn't his anymore. For the first time in my life, the energy tilted toward me. Dad spoke softly. "Ava earned this." Mom snapped at him instantly. "Oh, of course you defend her. You always coddled her." Dad's voice didn't rise. She didn't need coddling. She needed space to become who she is. Ben glared at him. "So you knew?" Dad nodded once. "I did." The betrayal hit Ben like a physical blow. He backed away from the table, eyes glassy, chest rising and falling in sharp, uneven breaths. "This is a joke," he whispered. "A sick joke." I grabbed my coat. I didn't owe this room another minute. As I stepped toward the door, Mom called out, half pleading, half accusing. "Ava, you can't just walk away." "I already did," I said without looking back. And I left them staring at a version of me they never bothered to see. The night air hit me like a cold slap, but it felt cleaner than anything inside that house. I sat in my car for a long moment, breathing steadily, letting the chaos behind me fade into the kind of silence that didn't feel lonely, just necessary. My phone buzzed before I could even start the engine. "Mom." I let it ring until it died. Then it buzzed again. This time Ben. The third call came from Dad, and that one I answered. His voice was gentle, steady. "You okay?" "I'm tired," I said. "But I'm okay." "You don't have to explain anything to them," he replied. "Not tonight. Maybe not ever." I didn't realize until then how much I needed someone on my side. When I got home, the adrenaline finally wore off. My hands shook, not from fear, just from release. 12 years of hiding, building, pushing silently. and in one accidental sentence, everything came out. But the real storm didn't hit until morning. Ben showed up at my apartment. He didn't knock gently. He pounded, furious and desperate all at once. I opened the door just enough to see his face. Flushed, eyes red, pride cracked straight down the middle. Why? He demanded. Why didn't you tell me? You never asked, I repeated calmly. That's not an answer. His voice wavered. You're my sister. I'm supposed to protect you. You can't protect someone you've never really seen. He swallowed hard, as if my words hit deeper than he expected. You think I don't care? He asked quietly. You think I wouldn't have supported you? I didn't sugarcoat it. You never supported anything that wasn't about you. His anger collapsed into something more fragile. Fear, insecurity, the weight of being the golden child, who suddenly wasn't golden anymore. He wiped his face with the back of his hand. Everyone's talking about it, he said. Mom is losing her mind. She thinks you embarrassed her. I didn't embarrass her, I said. Her expectations embarrassed her. Ben shook his head, stepping back like he didn't know how to stand in front of me anymore. You changed everything, he murmured. I don't even know who you are now. I met his eyes. I'm the same person, I said. You just never bothered to look. He didn't respond. He just walked away, quiet, unsteady, no words left to fire back. And for the first time, he looked smaller than me. December moved fast. News articles, profiles, interviews, podcasts. People wanted to hear my story. The quiet builder, the hidden founder, the woman who rose in silence and struck the world loud. I didn't chase any of it. But I didn't run from it either. Every headline pushed my family deeper into a place they'd never been. A world where I wasn't the background. I was the center. Christmas dinner at my parents' house felt like stepping into a room filled with invisible smoke. Mom tried smiling, but her eyes kept darting over me like I was a puzzle she still couldn't solve. Ben sat across the table, shoulders stiff, pride stitched together with threads still tearing. Dad gave me a soft nod. The kind that says I see you. Without a single word. Halfway through dinner, Mom finally snapped. You didn't have to make this public, Ava, she whispered sharply. You've created a mess in this family. I put down my fork. I didn't make anything public, I said calmly. The world noticed on its own. Ben shifted uncomfortably, staring at his plate. He didn't defend her. He didn't defend anyone. I continued, steady as a blade sliding from its sheath. I'm starting a mentorship fund. Girls in tech. Young founders. People who grew up quiet like me. I paused. And I'm setting up a trust for Emery. She didn't ask for any of this. Mom blinked, breath catching. Ben finally looked up. The first real expression of gratitude I had ever seen from him. You're really doing that? He asked quietly. Yes, I said. Because she deserves a chance. And because I know what it's like not to be given one. The room fell silent. Not angry. Not tense. Just shifted. Something broke that night. But not in a painful way. More like a chain unlocking. And for the first time, I wasn't the quiet one in the corner. I was the one rewriting the room. As I stood to leave, Dad walked me to the door. I'm proud of you, he whispered. I believed him. Outside, the snow fell in slow spirals, soft and peaceful. The kind of silence that felt earned, not endured. I walked to my car knowing one thing clearly. I would never shrink myself again. And this was only the beginning. Asterisk asterisk if you want more stories like this, darker, sharper, more intense. Tell me in the comments what kind of story you want next. Like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next twist. It's going to hit even harder. Asterisk asterisk.